Hello, welcome to another episode of the Veterans Helping Veterans TV series. My name is Cheryl Schaefer. The title of today's program is Veterans Leading the Way. And I'd like to introduce my first guest. This is Luis Hernandez, and he is certainly helping to lead the way for veterans in Silicon Valley as he is a case manager at the Goodwill in Silicon Valley. Can you tell me a little bit about your military background?
Yes, I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps. I went straight out of high school, graduated in '99, went directly to the Marine Corps in the summer. I was an avionics technician, stationed in Yuma, Arizona, and then I did 2 deployments. Went to Iwakuni, Japan, and then went on the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit with Cobra Gold, and then I got out in 2004.
So how did you get from the Marine Corps over to being a case manager over at the Goodwill?
After the Marine Corps, I went to community college at Ohlone Community College, and then from there I transferred over to UC Berkeley. And while at UC Berkeley, I was a student mentor to community college students for the Transfer, Reentry, and Student Parent Center. And from there I shifted over to become a veterans intern for the same center. And from there it just sparked my interest in working with veterans.
So let's talk about some of the services that the Goodwill of Silicon Valley provides, and this is the Veterans Individualized Placement Program. Yes. Can you tell me what it is a veteran has to do to become eligible to participate in this program?
To be part of our program, you have to be first homeless. That's our main goal, is to employ or help homeless veterans become employable or employed. Okay. And then you cannot be dishonorably discharged, but it's really on a case-by-case basis that we might provide services to individuals who are dishonorably discharged.
Now, you don't actually, Goodwill doesn't actually have the housing facility. What you're really doing is partnering with other community-based organizations that have that?
When it comes to housing veterans, we work with other organizations within Silicon Valley, such as Envision or EHC or Irving's shelter. And we partner with them, or we network with them to assist our veterans get housed.
Well, very good. Do you accept every veteran that comes to you?
Not every veteran is accepted. We do a screening process. We do a pre-screen, then they come in. If they pass the pre-screen, meaning if they go through the eligibility, if they meet those requirements, then they come in, and then we talk to the veterans and see what their goal is, really. If they're just there to get resources from us, or if they're actually, their main goal, which is our main goal, is to get them employment.
Right, because the whole idea is to help the veteran obtain self-sufficiency so they can become a productive citizen and earn their own way.
Right.
Great. So what kind of training does Goodwill provide?
Part of our intake process for our first week, and then also continuing on, we offer resume writing services or assist them workshops, interview skill workshops, what to do after an interview, what to do after you submit a resume, just sort of how to have that culture of finding employment. You know, from the way you dress to the way you talk to the way you speak with potential employers.
Do you provide veterans business clothes?
We do have some clothes that we do provide for them. We check it out to them. So if they need a business suit or something that they need to go to an interview in, then we'll assist them with that.
Ah, okay, okay. Because there's a relatively new program out, started by Gary Sinise. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Okay, and he's very pro-veteran advocate, and it's providing business clothes for veterans. Right. So you might actually go online and check that out and see if there's a way you can partner with him. Because that's really what the Goodwill is doing, is creating partnerships and alliances with other community-based organizations to answer all these issues facing our veterans.
Right. So we have, what our case managers do is, that's what we do. We try to connect with other organizations to better assist and provide these services to our veterans so they can become self-sufficient.
So what makes you such a good case manager?
I think the leadership there, the mentors I've had there at Goodwill have definitely allowed me to grow as a case manager.
And the fact that you're all veterans.
Yes, we're all veterans there. It's
so
all
you can
veterans.
relate to what the issues that the veterans may have.
Definitely, and then some of our staff members have gone through a lot of these issues that our veterans are going through currently.
So they present themselves as if I can do it, you can do it too.
Definitely.
So what would you say if I was a homeless veteran and I came up to you, I asked for help? How would you persuade me that Goodwill is the place for me to go get the help that I need?
Well, number one, I'd definitely explain our services and what we provide. There's a lot of resources we provide, from case management, having employment specialists, having different workshops and instructions that we provide. We provide meals, lunch every day. We have a resource center where we have 15 computers for veterans to come in and use at any time. Even if you're not part of the program, you're more than welcome to come and use our resources there.
So let's say that again. So even if you aren't part of the program, you allow veterans, unemployed veterans, to come in and use your computers on site?
Yes.
Well, that's great. That's a great nugget of information right there. So what else?
On top of that, it's the fact that we're all veterans on the staff. We know the culture, we know how, the language. Like I said, a lot of our staff members have gone through, what our veterans are going through, so they understand and how to talk to them,
right?
How to speak with them, where to find these resources.
Because they can relate.
Yes.
So, some of the resources that are in here, like you just talked about: meals, transportation, computer assistance, outside resource referrals. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Outside resource referrals is like I said, if you need services outside of what we might be able to provide, such as shelter or, just any other type of resource, finding help managing through the VA system.
Now, do you actually have service officers or contacts with service officers from the various service organizations that will help veterans initiate the process of file for service-connected disability?
We have made connections throughout a lot of the different organizations throughout Silicon Valley. So we do have.
Because that's really frustrating for a lot of veterans, is they have a real love-hate relationship with the VA because, the VAs exist to help veterans, but sometimes that process that you have to go through is not an easy process. So we always advise veterans never attempt to apply for that service-connected disability rating on your own, because chances are first time out you're going to get denied. And it's a frustrating experience when you have to wait, a year or 2 years.
I think it comes from us having experience dealing with these issues already and knowing who to go to within each different organization and making those connections for those veterans.
So do you keep an ongoing list or a roster of who's who?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And that's updated all the time?
We do update it all the time.
Okay, very good.
That's within us as case managers. That's what our goal is to assist the veterans outside of the sort of employment aspect of it. And then we have the job developer and business developers whose goal is to find them employment. So what they've done is build a network with employers throughout Silicon Valley to help them network and be placed into different jobs.
So that's part of what you're doing, really, is motivating the veteran client to better themselves.
Yes.
And you do that, say, this is my story and this is the way we did it, and if we can do it, you can do it too.
Right.
Well, that's just a wonderful thing. Let's talk about how we actually met.
Yes.
Which was a pretty awesome event on May 29th over there at Facebook headquarters. We were part of the Vets in Tech, and Facebook was nice enough to open up their corporate headquarters to us, and you were part of our team, and it was a wonderful event. That's how I met you. And that's why I asked you to be a guest on the show, because as a nation, as a community, as people who care, we really need to outreach to these veterans so they don't become lost and just fall by the wayside, So I think it's great that you are actually talking. Let's talk a little bit about the eligibility for the VIP program. So people know what that is. So certain requirements that need to be met are?
Right, like you have to be homeless.
Okay.
That's our main goal, is to help homeless veterans.
And you have to have been an active duty veteran.
Yes, or if you were in the reserves, 180 days of active duty service.
Okay, very good.
To be eligible.
Yeah. And that's not consecutive.
No,
that can be piecemeal. And see, there's a distinction there, because I'm a retired EDD vet rep. Usually you have to serve 180 days or more exclusive of training to be considered a veteran.
Right.
So in your case, through the Goodwill, you have a little bit more lenient criteria. Right. So 10 days here, 20 days
it's also
there.
on a case-by-case basis also.
Case-by-case basis. So you will also help veterans who are underemployed or only working in a part-time situation, but they need a full-time job to support their family.
Or some of them might work 2 jobs. If that's what they're looking for, then we will assist them with that also.
And no dishonorable discharges, because no one provides services to anyone that has a dishonorable discharge. That's what that means.
Right, for the most part, but again, it's on a case-by-case basis.
Let's talk about peer mentorship, because we talked a little bit about that earlier.
Right, and we have, on top of the 2 case managers we have the 2 job developers, employment specialists, and then we have a peer mentor there within the resource center who's constantly there. So he's in charge of looking over the resource center and being a peer mentor and being there for veterans who come in, and being someone to talk to, someone that supports them.
So how many veterans do you serve?
At any given time, you might have a caseload of maybe 70 to 110 veterans.
Wow.
But our program is a 5-phase program. So there's...
Let's talk about those 5 phases. What's the first phase? Intake?
Intake process.
Okay.
And then there's during the intake, you go through the workshops, and then you're in the job seeker phase. So that's where a lot of our work comes in, because that's when we're actively engaging our veterans and finding resources for them, employers for them also.
So the idea is to become self-sufficient. So you motivate them, you train them, you house them, you feed them, and you say, if we can do it, you can do it too. So if someone would like to contact you directly, can you give us your phone number? My
personal office number is 408-869-9187. And my email address is Luis, Luish, @goodwillsv.org.
So for the veterans out there in Silicon Valley who may need a hand up, not a handout, contact you.
Definitely.
Because you're ready. You got the services, you got the staff, you got the outreach. There's no reason for a veteran to be homeless anymore. There are too many organizations that really genuinely want to help you. It's up to you to make that choice.
Thank you.